Hey you guys, so welcome to the Fashion Goddess TV. I am the Fashion Goddess. So today we're going to discuss metaphysics. Metaphysics is a spiritual science to teach you about your spirituality as a science. Okay, so we're going to discuss the religion of knowledge. So many of us want to attain knowledge, and knowledge is out there to be attained at an unlimited rate. But the fact of the matter is, you have to seek the right knowledge out. So let's get into our lesson. You have to be a truth seeker. Seek to know what is truth, because there's so many deceptions, so many forms of manipulation, so many lies that's in our world today. And that's with racial aspects, prejudice, civil rights, that's with gay rights, that's with our president today, Trump. It's so much going on that's not true. So the fact of the matter is, you want to seek out what is the truth. Once you start seeking for the truth, then you will start to attain the correct knowledge, because there's so many forms of learning out there, so many different knowledges that you can be exposed to. But the fact of the matter is, seek out what's really true knowledge. And once you attain that knowledge, you then want to move on to teaching the knowledge to others. In order to receive knowledge, you have to conduct work every day. So when I say working on studying, learning, reading. Knowledge is not sitting a book in front of you and thinking that, hey, I'm going to become intelligent just looking at this book. No, you got to do the work. You got to put in the work to learn the information that's in that novel. The next thing is, it's all about comprehending and understanding what's being taught to you. For example, let's use the scenario of college. If you go to class, the first day of class at college, you have to go in with an open mind to comprehend. Does this make sense? Does this sound like a fact or opinion? Is this the truth? Is this like a watered down lie? And then once you comprehend and interpret what you are hearing, then you can start to understand. Okay, yes, this is true for me. This is a fact. Excuse me. This is a value that I would like to attain. This is something that I would like to believe in. Because knowledge, we attain knowledge that we actually believe in. We don't just like read something and say, hey, because they said it, I believe it. Most of us attain the knowledge that we believe is valuable knowledge for us in particular. So be free from fear. Fear will get in the way of you attaining knowledge in your life. For example, if you would like to get enrolled in college, but you're afraid to do the process, do the paperwork, then of course you're not going to go and apply to get enrolled into college because you're afraid. So you have to be free from fear in order to attain knowledge. The next thing is, be free from anger. You can't be sitting in that college class and like you're angry, you're frustrated, you don't want to be there, because of course, if you're operating in that type of mind frame, you're not gonna retain any of the information whatsoever. The next thing is, be free from materialistic possessions. So for example, some of us, we have jobs and we're making a good amount of money, and we like, hey, I'm making so much money right now, I'm gonna focus on my money, and you don't get enrolled in college because you're so focused on a materialistic thing, which is money. So in order to attain knowledge, you got to be free from any materialistic thing. You can't let money hold you back because you're content with the amount of money that you're making on the job or in your career, and you prevent yourself from getting enrolled in college. The next thing is, keep your heart fixed upon God. God is the true giver of knowledge, because to him, knowledge is wisdom. So if you really want to attain wisdom, be faithful to God. And he will allow you to receive wisdom in your life. The next thing is be pure. Do the right thing, do good unto others, stay on the right path. Because if you're distracted with doing the wrong things, then of course you won't have time to sit down and read that novel to get knowledge. For example, if you're going out to a lounge or your friend is calling you to come out and drink with them, then you're going to go because, that's what you want to do. But the fact of the matter is you can reject that individual and say, hey, you know what, I'm just going to stay home and read this book and learn some new information. That's being in a pure mindset. The next thing, knowledge is a sacred flame. It's kind of like that light bulb that you turn on, and turn off. So it's like a light bulb. But in order to turn that light on within your inner self, you have to make sacrifices. So as I was stating before, a friend calling and saying, hey, you want to go out? Sometimes you have to say no and reject that individual because like, hey, I'm here growing. I'm here building myself up, attaining more knowledge in my life, working on self-transformation, developing myself. Those things are very important and critical to our growth in life. But for example, some people, they just go out and say, hey, yeah, let's go get a drink or two. And then like you put down the book. So of course you reject the knowledge. The next thing is you have to be diligent at working to attain more and more knowledge. So sometimes you might find yourself staying up all night reading this book, especially, if you're a college student or of course, if you have already graduated and you know what it took for you to attain your degree, like it was late nights, you stayed up studying for hours. So it was sacrifices that had to take place. And it also was you working diligently, working hard, working your behind off to get your degree, or working your behind off to get that A or B on that exam. So in order to have knowledge, you have to make sacrifices and you have to work hard to attain it. The next thing is, if you want to be delivered from being ignorant, from being in poverty, because I feel like if you're ignorant, then you are going to be stuck in poverty. So if you want freedom from poverty and deliverance from ignorance, then the first step is to seek out what is my purpose in life. And then start reading, start learning the things that you need to do to put your life in drive, and to start attaining the things that you want to see manifested into your life. Because ignorance cannot take you anywhere. Ignorance will leave you right where you at, being poor. But if you want to seek a higher purpose in life, you have to start off by seeking for true knowledge. And true knowledge is going to lead you onto the path of your purpose, because you're going to know, okay, hey, I learned this, so this is what I need to do to get my destiny fulfilled. You're going to know the steps. The next thing is take positive action upon the knowledge received. So we all know that action is doing. Okay? So whatever you feel is a positive action, then start taking steps towards doing things to get more knowledge. So like I say, if it's just reading the book, if it's looking at that YouTube video, if it's downloading an ebook, listening to an audio book, going to Barnes and Noble's, buying a book on the particular subject that you're interested in. It doesn't matter. Like, read books to get a better understanding of the things that you are interested in. The next thing is start using your gifts, your skills and talents, also your attributes, to attain a quality lifestyle. So it's something you're good at. Think about it. Whatever that is, turn it into a business. Start making money. Start living a wealthy lifestyle that you never imagined that you can live. because action and knowledge go hand to hand. First, you attain the knowledge. Secondly, you start doing action. So, whatever your skills are, attain knowledge on how you can put those skills into effect. And then start taking action on putting those skills in effect. Or start putting your talents to good use to help others, to entertain others, etc., etc. And even with your gifts are considered spiritual. Some people can preach, minister. Some people can go on a mission trip and volunteer. Some people love community service. So whatever that is for you in particular, learn about what you need to do and then put it to action. So what is action? Let's talk about that for a second. So action is meditating. So when I say meditating, I mean think about what do you need to be doing in your life right now. Sometimes a lot of us we can stand still, and just get stuck like, hey, I don't know what to do. I don't know my purpose. I don't know like anything right now. So meditate, think about what is it that you're good at? What is it that you see yourself doing in the future, or what will you love to do? And then seek out that thing. Seek out that thing. When I say seek out that thing, I mean do your research on what it is that you're interested in. Okay, and make sure that whatever you decide to do, it's a wise thing. Okay, because there's so many like scams, so many cons out here. Don't get involved in anything that's a scam to make money. Make sure it's something that's a right, positive action to get involved in your life. The next thing is master the art of doing. Do. Like Nike said, just do it. Learn to work on things that will save others. So a lot of times the things that we will do one day in our purpose, it really wasn't exactly for us. It was actually for others to go forth because you paved the way for them. So go forth, pave the way for future generations that will come behind you. So it's all about doing your purpose, fulfilling your destiny in life. The next thing is what is inaction. So inaction is pretty much self-rejection, rejecting yourself. You're laying in bed and you're hungry and you like, well, I don't feel like walking downstairs to go and fix a lunch. Okay, that's rejecting yourself. So doing versus undoing, that's a scenario of if you make up the bed and then you go and rip the covers off the bed. So you're pretty much undoing what you just did. So undoing versus doing is pretty much wasting time. Like you did it and maybe you half did it, So that's like wasting time. The next thing is not taking care of your true needs. So as I stated, if you're hungry and you're like, well, I don't want to go to the store and get any groceries. Oh, my kid is thirsty, but I don't want to go pour them anything to drink. That's rejecting and neglecting needs. So if you get into inaction, you're going to find yourself becoming more and more hopeless on a daily basis because you just feel like, well, I don't know my purpose. I don't know what I should be doing in my life. So there's no hope for me. And then you'll find yourself sacrificing, inner emotion. So work on sacrificing your inner emotion or issues. So a lot of times we got like inner issues that's going on, that's making us feel moody, that's making us feel miserable, that's making us feel angry or sad. It's sometimes things going on within us. So work on finding out what is my problem. And once you find out what's your problem, then start sacrificing a lot of those inner emotions and issues off. Get rid of them because they're only going to make you more and more miserable. The next thing is soul of liberation versus a soul of corruption. So, a soul that's trying to be free in life is all about being self satisfied, and they are content with their work. That's what it's all about. A lot of people, they go to work and they're miserable and they complain about their work. Go to work and be content and be satisfied with everything you receive in the check amount, that you receive, the career that you're in, or the job position that you have. Until you can do better, be satisfied. Because when you be satisfied with where you're at in life, eventually better things will come. As long as you're staying optimistic and visualizing yourself attaining more wealth, or attaining more knowledge, or attaining more possessions in life, that will all manifest. But you have to be satisfied and content where you're at in life right now to really be free and liberated. The next thing is, soon, as I stated before, stuff will start manifesting. You'll find yourself reaping the fruits of your labor because you've been content. And the universe will acknowledge contentment. So never forget that. In order to be liberated, a soul of liberation, you have to be satisfied with yourself, content, and you will reap the fruits of your labor. And when I say satisfied with yourself, I'm talking about every aspect of your life: your beauty, your body type, your intelligence, your where you stay, the car you drive, the kids you have, your spouse, etc. The next thing, soul of corruption. They are constantly craving the worldly pleasures, meaning craving the wrong things, craving, drugs, alcohol, stealing, lying. They're craving to do the wrong things in their life. So, of course, the more wrong things you do, karma is a bitch. So, it's going to come back on you. So, that person, instead of reaping fruits of their labor, they're going to find evil fortunes coming upon them. So, for example, they might get a check, but the check bounced, $3,000 check. They thought it was a blessing, but the check bounced because, karma is going to come back and bite you in the behind. Or, let's just say they did some wrong to someone, and someone got a hold of their checkbook and start writing checks, or someone stole their identity and started spending money on their credit card and took up their credit card balance, and now they cannot pay the bill off. That's the evil misfortune coming back into that person's life. So don't be a soul of corruption. So, remember, if you know the story of Genesis, God created the world. He did so much work. He created the sun, the light, the day, the animals, us, etc., etc. He did all of that action. But remember, on the Sabbath day, he rests. So never forget that. Do what you need to do in life to get where you want to be in life. Make all the necessary steps to, take action on a daily basis. Attain knowledge. But don't forget, have those days out the week that you can just rest and relax, because you have to do that to get in contact with your inner self. And your inner self will talk with you, and even God, he will talk to you and let you know, like, hey, this is the next plan for your life, or hey, this, I want you to do this one thing. So you have to rest to hear what your soul and what God is speaking to you. So You can be a workaholic, but have your days to rest. Because rest and action also go hand to hand, just like action and knowledge. So knowledge is worth more than wealth. And I know a lot of you might be thinking like knowledge is worth more than money. No, you're kidding. No, I'm serious. Knowledge is worth more than wealth. In the Bible, it actually states that wisdom is more valuable than rubies in Proverbs. So when you're an intelligent person, that's worth more than the amount of money that you have in your bank account or the amount of money you have in your wallet. Because if someone, let's just say a billionaire that's a business owner, they see that you have this great idea that can help their business, okay, what's going to happen? That businessman is going to contact you and offer you money to bring your great idea into their company and to impact their company. So that's why knowledge is worth more than wealth, because knowledge is like a form of currency in itself. The next thing, it's a flame of thought. And when I say a flame, I'm going back to in the beginning, I said knowledge is a flame. It's a sacred flame. So just think of your thoughts are little light bulbs. It's just like an idea. Anytime you see an idea, it's a light bulb that goes on and off. So if you get a great idea, that's a light bulb that turns on for you. So your thoughts are light bulbs. Some light bulbs have to be like crashed, because we know like all thoughts are not good. Some thoughts are negative. So some light bulbs you just gotta like step on them, crush them. But those that are positive thoughts, you want to keep those light bulbs on. So the first step to just maintaining good thoughts is be humble. Don't be prideful or arrogant. The next thing is teach, share, and spread the knowledge. It's no point of you sucking up all this information if you're not going to help younger generations coming up after you, or if you're going to help others learn how to start their business. It's no point of you getting the knowledge if you're not going to help anyone. So also, search strongly for spiritual knowledge. A lot of us might not be religious, spiritual, Christian people, but the fact of the matter is we were created by a spirit being, which is God. He's a spirit being. He's not a human being. Therefore, the more you attain spiritual knowledge, and the first step will be metaphysics. Study metaphysics, because it is a spiritual science. And that's why I'm so in tune to metaphysics, because it's the highest form of studying spirituality and realizing that, hey, this spiritual stuff is really true. And that's why, I just love metaphysics. But so that's my suggestion. Study metaphysics to get spiritual knowledge. But that's the most strongest form of knowledge, because you're studying your inner self. You're studying something that is going to return back to the universe. And as Christians say, back to the heaven, or spiritual people say, back to the kingdom of God. So get in tune with the spiritual knowledge and find out the truth, because we all need to know, like, hey, what's determined for this soul of mine? Because right now we're living in the body and we're attaining book sense, or even street sense as a body. But when this body died, that book sense that you attain, that street sense, all of that dies too. So whatever books you read in college, psychology books, marketing books, whatever, all of that dies out. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, if you attain spiritual knowledge, then you're gaining something that your soul will have to hold on to in the next life. So consume knowledge with a sense of joy. It's a great thing to become smarter. day by day. That's a great thing to know, like, hey, I'm becoming smarter. And even if you're a parent and you have kids and you see your kids learning certain things and you see they're becoming smarter, that's just a great sense of joy in one's heart to know, like, wow, my kids are getting smarter and I am getting smarter. You definitely want to get smart, not dumb. The next thing is love meditation. So, as we talked about meditation in the other slide, meditation is just thinking. It's just thinking about positive things. Meditation can also be a form of silencing all of your thoughts. So either way works for me in particular. It's some people that can meditate for an hour with no thoughts whatsoever distracting them. And it's some people that they can meditate for 5 minutes like me, or maybe 5 seconds, and then pretty much thoughts start coming in. It doesn't matter. Love meditating on, your vision, or how you imagine yourself in your future. Think about those things, and then sometimes just silence your brain, where you're not thinking about anything. You just allowing the brain waves to do their thing. The next thing is the flame of continuance. Continue, 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 continue. It's all about continuing to do the things that you need to do to get where you want to be in life. Day by day, deny distractions, because it's going to be so many distractions. Like I said earlier, distractions from friends, distractions from colleagues, distractions from mates, children, phone calls, text messages, social media, so many different distractions, and I'm sure you all are aware of those. But take out the time, to study. Study. Read a book, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, study. Studying should never end. So it's all about making silent sacrifices that will pay off in the future. Sometimes, like if you're staying up and, studying for that exam for tomorrow or next week, a lot of people might feel like nobody don't know that I'm doing this. Like, this don't even matter, but in actuality, God sees that you are making silent sacrifices. And he will reward you for taking out that time and just studying so you can get an A or B on that exam. Be steadfast at reading or studying on a daily basis. So, like I say, deny those distractions, and day by day, stay on it. Be consistent with studying, with reading daily, or if not daily, weekly, and at least monthly. So knowledge pays off more better than expensive gifts. As I stated earlier, knowledge is worth more than wealth. It's worth more than expensive gifts. So that Neiman Marcus outfit, or going to shopping at Nordstrom, at Saks Fifth Avenue, that's all great. You can go there and get so many expensive gifts for yourself or friends or family members. But at the end of the day, knowledge is something that you're attaining for yourself. It's an expensive gift that you're giving to yourself every day. So make sure you reward yourself on a daily basis. The next thing is, when you attain knowledge, it exposes you to the truth to life, that you do not have to ache with pain in your heart any longer. And when I say ache with pain in your heart, as I stated about ignorance, being dumb, or just not knowing certain things, because I know a lot of us, we find ourselves in that place. Like, I recently started my business and I just didn't know how to really start a business, and I just felt just incompetent, because I'm like, well, I don't know how, and I should, and nobody wanted to help me attain that information. So when you don't have knowledge, you'll find like that pain in your heart. You'll find yourself in a painful predicament. And you probably start suffering from depression and anxiety because it's really frustrating not to know things. And even with the most simple things, not knowing how to cook for a kid, not knowing how to tie their shoes for a baby, not knowing how to walk, it's very frustrating when we as humans, we don't know how to do certain things. And that brings about a pain, a frustration, a anger, a sadness within our heart. So the more you get knowledge, then you can avoid that pain, that frustration, being incompetent. You can avoid all of that in your life because you know the truth of how to start your business. You know the truth of how to cook vegan food or whatever, whatever it is. So the truth shall set you free from all things, even poverty. So knowledge will set you free. So knowledge is also the sword of wisdom. So the kindle flame of knowledge is a fuel that feeds you. Knowledge is a fuel. So it's pretty much putting gas into your body to allow you to take action and do the things you need to do in your life to get where you want to be. So knowledge, you can also look at it as food. It feeds your soul, your spirit, your body to go forth and take action on doing this or that to accomplish certain goals that you desire to fulfill in your life. So do not waste your knowledge. Work to attain it and use it. That's what knowledge is for. You don't get knowledge just to sit on it. You get knowledge to use it. Use it for yourself. So start taking those steps, like whatever you learn about starting a business, getting a business loan, whatever you learn, go ahead and put it into practical use now. And if you seek for knowledge, you will find it. So once you start, opening books, reading, you're going to start finding the things that you need to learn in your life to get where you want to be. Knowledge will help you grow and develop perfectly. So the more intelligent you become in life, you're going to see yourself maturing and growing into like this magnificent person that you never thought that you can become. Because knowledge will help you to grow up. If you feel like you're childish, you're immature, start reading some books. And trust me, you're going to find yourself more educated, talking about more educated things with your friends. And then you're just going to find yourself on a different level than others that were childish just like you, where you probably won't even be able to hang out with them anymore because they're going to be offended because you're so intelligent now. So believe that your soul can receive knowledge once you master yourself. Cleave to the truth. So knowledge is all about believing in yourself. Believe that you can learn this subject. You can learn this topic. Some people, they might think about, like, let's just use philosophy and think like, hey, that's too deep. I can't learn that. Believe in yourself. You can learn anything you set your mind to. Because remember, it's all about cleaving to the truth. If you believe it, then you can receive the knowledge about it. But if you don't believe it, then that's a different story. You won't be able to attain the knowledge, even if you do read the book. You won't process it well because you don't believe what you're reading. So it's all about believing in yourself and believing what you read is the truth. And make sure it is the truth, as we stated earlier. So remember that doubt and ignorance will put your spirit into bondage. When I say bondage, I mean poverty. Being poor in life, not having enough, living check to check. You don't want to be in that situation because ignorance is just poverty. And doubt is what not believing in yourself, not believing that you can get enrolled in college and attain knowledge, not believing that you can read this 500-page book. So think about all of those things. When you possess knowledge, you will experience peace. So the smarter a person becomes, the more peaceful they are because they know, like, hey, I know certain things. I don't need you to tell me this or that. I really don't need you for anything because I already know that. So when you become knowledgeable, you find yourself becoming more independent, where you don't have to rely on others' information about certain things because you know what to do. You know how to take a bath. You know how to go and pick out your clothes in the morning. You know how to like drive. You know how to write. You know how to brush your teeth. All of that stuff. So that's the part of knowing. So if you are untaught, you will be full of doubt and fear and lack. Faith, hope, happiness, and peace. So pretty much if you are incompetent, you're going to be a person full of doubt, constantly fearing, lacking faith, not believing in anything, not believing in God, hopeless, unhappy, and not at peace. And that's just miserable. That is very miserable. So that's why it's so important to attain knowledge, because you don't want to be living incompetent about certain things, because it's just going to bring a real awkward aura over you. So do not be self-contained. Offer yourself to the community service, and business work. So it's just not all about you. Once you start getting knowledge, volunteering your community, your local community, and offer yourself as a service to help out. Even start your own business. Whatever you're good at, whatever is your talent, your skill, your gift, start a business. Don't just make it all about you. The next thing is knowledge will enlighten and emancipate you, and you would not have to serve others anymore by working for them. So of course we know a job is like you're working for somebody else's dream. Instead of working for someone else's dream, be emancipated to, like I said before, start your own business. And the more you become knowledgeable, you become enlightened. You become more intelligent. You know things. So, my challenge to you all is arise. Get knowledge. Be bold, courageous, if I may add, and wise. Learn new things. That's what life is all about. Grow, learn new things, discover new things, explore new things, be curious about certain things in life. And the more you find yourself learning new things, you're going to find yourself rising to the top of the ladder. That's why I say arise to get knowledge. Because if you want to rise to the top of the ladder, you gotta get that good old knowledge, and become more intelligent in life, become wiser, But the first step to getting knowledge is being bold to go out there and go get it. Don't be afraid. Don't fear. Whatever it is that you're seeking to do, remember, do. Just do it. Just do it. I believe in you all. Just do it.